Oh.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me now?
Hey, luckily we have somebody who's monitoring us. We're not in the studio today, and I don't even have Chris with me, so I don't have to worry about that whole foot and mouth aspect of it.
Exactly.
This is Zoran. I'm RJ. It's
What up?
No Name Friday.
Hey.
It's June 5th. Today is let's see. Today there's a couple of different things that normally would have happened, but we started off the day with the first Friday coffee. So if you're not already aware of it, why we're not in the studio is that we are actually in the Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce
Ta-da!
conference room at this time.
Oh.
Yeah, right on that side. Yeah, it's a little reverse on the screen. And so we needed to go ahead and, since everything was all set up for the First Friday Coffee, which was a virtual First Friday Coffee, we had tore down most of the studio and brought it into here. So here we are. And then I just got a call maybe about 20 minutes ago about from our co-host Chris, who is helping out a friend right now. And I said, hey, I got Zoran here. He was our DJ. He was our musical talent for the Chamber Show. That kind of we did a Tonight Show type of theme this morning.
Ah, that was so much fun, wasn't it?
You know what? I think I could pull some.
Come on, play a little clip of that. Come on.
I mean, you could tell on the screen that we actually had.
We have no idea, absolutely no idea where we're going to end up today. We do know that we're going to hear from our sponsor, Gulf Power. We do know we're going to hear from our chair.
Fallon.
We do know that the Z-Man is here from Zoran Entertainment. He's spinning some tunes. We have some distinguished guests. We have RJ Murdoch from EmeraldCoastTV.com that we're hoping we'll be able to record this.
Over that period of time.
We had Bernard Johnson,
assets of Southern Company that are in the state of Florida.
Gulf
Power and the real
Electrifying.
And you can also see, I'm skipping
younger
through this real quick because I wanted to show the Zoom window.
We have pieces on there talking about
whatever you're doing, not paying attention, you're texting or whatever you're doing online there. What I want you to do is, unless you're making notes of this, there it is. Yes, she's making notes.
Yeah, there she is. She's making notes. Well, here's the thing. So you said it where you want.
So folks, if you're out there, as you know, on March, whenever that date was, I always associate with St. Patty's Day. It was right around St. Patty's Day.
We're going to bring him on board here just a little bit after we get through the usual.
The usual.
I
have no idea. I'm going to find out, I'm sure.
It's called, right now, this is called the Shameless Plug segment.
Okay.
So, right now, if you're watching us live on Emerald Coast TV's Facebook page, but we're also going live on YouTube, Roku, and Amazon Fire all at the same time. How cool is that, huh?
Super.
And but we also do have a Facebook page dedicated specifically for the show. We don't stream live to it. We kind of share our live stream to it because I think at this time we have just our moms who've joined us.
Looks that way. Hi, Mom.
I think we're up to 33 or 34 as of yesterday. So we'll see over there. And then
amazing.
We always go for my buddy here, Chris. He has this craboutlet.com and where the cyber meets the sand. So it's a shameless plug for that website because he's always talking about Crab Island, one of his favorite places
to hang out.
But one of the other traditions we have on a daily basis is that we take advantage of the National Day calendar.
So what's going on today, RJ?
What the National Day is, and
what's going on?
There's always a food in there.
Right.
Today, it's all about food.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. The first one is today is National Donut Day.
Get your sugar fix.
Yeah, absolutely. My understanding, my wife was saying, hey, it's Donut Day. And I'm like, okay. He says, you got to go to Krispy Kreme. Anybody who goes to Krispy Kreme gets one free donut.
Oh, they're going to love you, RJ.
Here in Fort Walton Beach to drive through Destin on a Friday, tourist traffic, to get my one free donut. I think I'm going to pass on that. But it's also Gingerbread Day, so maybe it's better off to just stay home and make some gingerbread. That's always a wonderful thing. Who came up with National Moonshine Day?
Chris?
No.
That's Chris Siemens.
Impress you? Chris Davis. Chris Davis outdoor.
Oh, Chris
Actually,
Davis,
he
yeah.
he found a little old moonshine still.
Yeah, local 850.
Yeah,
I remember that guy.
So it's local 850.
Yeah.
And have you ever tried a veggie burger for National Veggie Burger Day? Maybe
That's
maybe today is the
against my
day.
religion.
I did see a great Netflix series. It's called Explain.
Okay.
And they're like 22-minute little series about different topics.
Okay.
A lot of great topics. One of them was about the the history of, or where we're going, the future of meat for the most part, because of the population and everything else, and also what it takes to actually make a burger, a veggie burger, tastes like a burger. Getting the right amino acids and stuff like that.
Right,
So
right.
because of that, I actually went to Burger King and tried the Impossible Whopper.
Okay, how was that?
It did taste like a burger,
Okay.
but they overcooked it.
Oh no.
So
You gotta kill it, right?
that happens. It does happen.
Gotta burn it a little bit.
We mentioned before we had this. We're in the chamber over here because we had our guests here coming in. Because I had everything set up, but I took advantage of the fact that we have them here, and we're going to bring on right now to our
Okay, our
bring
fearless
on
leader.
our one and only
Drum roll. Hey.
Hey.
What a very rousing introduction that was. Thank you for that.
Yes.
And thanks for dressing up for the show, too,
We
by the way.
spare no
let's get your
expense.
Sometimes you got to bring a little class to this
All right,
act.
now I got your audio up there. My bad on that. So, but we got the echo of that, and I'm still adjusting some cameras here. I got a TV here. So in the meantime,
It's worthy of repeating. Nice job of dressing up for the show, gentlemen.
All right, so there he is, Mr. Ted Corcoran.
Ted C is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's talk about, earlier you introduced yourselves, certainly, and as a resident here for 30 years, I've known both of you for at least 20 years each, and arguably have two of the most unique names ever. I have no idea what RJ stands for.
Oh, you really don't want it. I've been saying that's my story.
Is that your story? Well,
I don't say it out in public, but I will share that story because it's a story. It isn't
On another show.
On another show.
That's
Maybe
a whole
full-time
new another show,
of RJ.
yeah.
So RJ Murdoch, Emerald Coast TV, and then certainly Zoran the Z-Man, with arguably one of the coolest voices in the community.
That's true.
Say something instead of giggling like that. Say something cool.
Say something cool.
Seth Luttrell's over there as your producer. He's come in, RJ.
Yeah, Seth.
He's got
Love
some type
Seth,
of
man.
message he's going to convey.
Bring down Zoran to my level a little bit.
Bring
Too
down
hot.
Zoran. Yes.
Too hot. Too hot.
That's what it's that voice. It's that deep voice he's got.
Yeah.
But I want to share this though. Thank you, Seth Luttrell. I think we're at 51% now, Seth. By the way, on volume. So I do want to share with you. I want to share with you the philanthropicness of the two of these people. Zoran, we had a food drive not but a couple of weeks ago at the Emerald Coast, the fairgrounds, and Zoran volunteers time to entertain the people, very important. RJ Murdoch does a lot of filming, a lot of shows like this. Both of these guys, although wacky and fun, certainly, both of them truly offer their services, their talents to the community, and in all serious note, I thank you both for that. You've done it for a long time, and I don't think you get enough recognition for what you have done for the community on a complimentary basis.
Thank you, Ted.
Well, thanks, Ted.
It's an honor. It's
a wonderful thing.
I love this community. This is the best community. When I decided to live here, Ted, it was because of that. Because you know what? I'm from a big city, Chicago. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of radio stations and all that.
Right.
But I made my way to the Gulf Coast. Destin Fort Walton Beach has become my home since the 80s.
So what made you come down this way?
Well, that's another story.
All right, so today is a history day.
We're going to have to wait for the Lifetime movies on both of you, I guess, to find out these explanations. But you, luckily, on behalf of our community, you both have arrived here.
Yep.
Zoran, of course, is a DJ extraordinaire, radio talent, MC. If you need a good MC for a fundraiser, et cetera, you have Zoran for that. He's also a coordinator. It says, what are you coordinating besides your outfit?
Well, yeah, you know what? That takes a lot. But anyway, anytime you have a special event, there has to be theater production of sorts.
I see.
It is theater, okay, in a way. And so, having said that, you have to coordinate everything from the beginning to the end. Everything that's going to take place in the middle as well. Obviously, at a special event like a wedding, you have a lot of tradition. You have a lot of things that the bride would like to have take place, and we have limited time. And keep in mind, there is no rehearsal when we do a special event. It's basically show
True.
up prepared with itinerary.
It's to be as prepared as possible for
Exactly.
whatever is going to happen.
Exactly. And then you kind of coordinate on the fly as need be, keeping in mind that you have the limited time to get everything done without being pressured, without being, just expediting. We don't want that. We want to take the time to make sure everything is done nice and elegant and fun and stress-free.
Yes,
There we go. Now let me ask you this, RJ, if I could, videographer, you've done it for many, many years. Do you still videotape weddings? No.
You know the tagline, don't you?
No, I don't. What is
All
it?
right, so basically when it comes to weddings, I remember another gentleman from the production industry, or the groups that we have here. And we have a large, well, I wouldn't say large, but very dedicated production group. A small group, but we all work together. And one gentleman says, I basically, if it's video, I'm do it. I'll be your hoe. But I was kind of like, well, I don't necessarily do all video. So I basically, and I used to do weddings. But weddings got to the point where at the time, back before all the digital stuff came out, and I was always a multi-camera type guy. You're talking about theater production. I've always wanted to set up multi-cameras, get all these angles, and it's very difficult to do it and unplanned in an environment that you're only seeing an hour beforehand. So I don't do weddings. That also because they would pay a videographer a couple $100. They would pay the photographer $6,000, and I'm like, I put 180 hours in this one edit. And he put 15 hours in here. I'm gonna pass on that.
There you go.
So my tagline is, I don't do weddings except friends and family. And I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet. And I don't do porn, and friends and family are no exception.
Nice. See, I didn't know that tagline, Zoran. We didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
We didn't know what RJ stands for, but now we know what his tagline is.
Yeah.
But it is interesting what you do, and certainly you do some high school football games, and you do some bow leg stuff, and you do some stagecrafter stuff. What are some of the craziest things you've videotaped? Because you've probably done kids' parties and
I
stuff.
will say that one thing is that my job is never really boring, and it seems like, and especially it was interesting with this whole COVID situation. All my production guys, they're all out of business, and then I'm a live multi-camera theater guy. I love doing stage productions, symphonies, ballets, and I've been around that and been doing it for more than 25 years. And April, May, recital and performance. I lost out on the Niceville. I lost out on the premiere of a ballet that the Mobile Ballet was going to be doing, of Beauty and the Beast, because they had to close out. So this was my big money month, and I was like, I have no jobs. But I'm also been a live streaming guy with all the live sports that I've been doing, and all the chamber stuff, and I've been trying to find, and I've had that little studio that I've had downtown that I've been doing the cable access shows for both the chambers, the Destin and the Fort Walton. Sometimes I do something for the city, making connections with Connexion Media Group. So I already had the studio and stuff like that. But I knew live streaming, I knew multicam, and I knew that as soon as everybody was going to have to shut down, I taught myself Zoom. Right off the bat, we were on spring break. I wasn't even in the area. I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. All the schools are using it. That's what I'm going to start learning how to use it because everybody's going to be using it. And then now, because of that and just the live streaming capability, and everybody's being forced not to being able to have meetings where they had lots of people having to do it virtually or live stream. Luckily has kept me going all this time. So I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, you did absolutely answer it. And as I look at the two of you, I think to myself, if someone out there is planning an event of any sort, what a better tandem than the two of you. Certainly, Zoran can help direct it and orchestrate it and DJ it and MC it, and RJ can help chronicle it and light it and so on and so forth. So you're really a good team. You're an all-power team. You could probably do the Super Bowl halftime show between the two of you.
Hey!
Look at Chris. What does he bring to the dance?
So I will tell you, because somebody I was a guest on a streaming show about streaming on Wednesday, yesterday. Okay, right? No, it's Friday. Boy, you lose track when you're in the COVID situation here. But they're like, so how do you keep your guest interesting, or how do you keep your topic interesting? And I said, well, one, you try to prep them up, and two, you hire a bartender, a former bartender, who knows how to keep a conversation going.
Right.
So Chris, I love you, man, because while I'm back here going, holy no, this is not working. He's like, okay, I'll talk to you.
Right.
And he carries on the
And
conversation.
we all do. Now, speaking of big news, he's got big news coming down the pike, doesn't he?
Yes, but he's keeping it.
Yeah, he's keeping it secret. I just wanted to
cards
dangle it out there.
to himself right there.
Got some stuff coming. I'm not sure if it's personally or professionally.
But I know it comes in like a shape of a triangle, and being a food day, and today being kind of a National Food Day, it has something to do with food.
Stay tuned.
And something that Chris knows how to make very well. So.
But it also comes in a circle and a square too, I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, yeah, they're right. There's various types, but most of his, I think,
Right.
have always been circle-ish and cut in triangles.
And in
not
fairness to my friend
wonder.
Chris Seaman, another representative who does an amazing amount of things for our community.
He does.
So the three of you, albeit I don't think I'd ever hire you to work for me, or oh no, I have done that though, of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's like Manny, Mo, and Jack here, or any Larry, Curly, and Mo.
Hey,
But
I like it.
carrying the hearts, the passion for the community, using your talents for the betterment of the community. The two of you, as I mentioned earlier, and Chris Seaman have done that, and I'm very appreciative to know you all.
Interviewing who's here, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
So this
chamber
is
guy.
like a
I'm lobbing
Tonight
you
Show
stuff.
setup. This is what we had a Tonight Show set up for the chamber.
And look how low I look in this chair
I know,
compared to
well,
you. You look like you're.
Unfortunately, because we had that monitor
Booster
there, the
seat.
camera's up way high, and Chris is saying, "Oh, you're such a geek."
It's like looking down from Mount Zeus. You down there in the chair.
So this is the audience, the stadium perspective as we're watching the show. This is when I was watching the Tonight Show. I was looking down on the stage or something like that. So in the last row over there, I wanted to say hi. So, but we really didn't have much of a show scripted for today. I thought we'd be
Nothing.
That's why I helped you
In
so
fact, we're
far.
here. I just
Thank
figured
you,
I
man.
didn't know if there was anything. And if I was Chris, I'm saying, okay, so put your chamber hat on. We're just coming out. We're still in a pandemic, but we're kind of phasing in, trying to reopening. How is the chamber helping businesses get through? See, this is Chris would be saying it. He would be asking the
He
question.
would be. Chris would be asking that, and we're very grateful for that. The key thing about the community is everyone, we have the advantage in our community to get things rolling again. It's that body of water. This is about half a mile out our back door right here. And because of the fact that we have the Gulf of Mexico here, folks, that is going to help us get out of this economy derailing we've had much quicker than everything else. They're coming down already. Memorial Day was packed, as we know. Traffic is packed. You mentioned earlier about going to get your donut for a non-sponsored shout out you gave them, by the way. So I'd recommend in the future that instead of giving their name until they pay for that to hear, you would say a donut shop in Destin.
We're hoping that maybe they
Maybe
could
they'll
be,
catch on and
they'll
hear
catch
it
on.
and
We could
hear
be
their
a
name
sponsor,
dangled
yeah.
out there. But here's the key, what we have to look at from everyone watching this. Tourism is our business. Tourism traffic on the roads means that we have tourists coming here to stay in our lodging, to go to our restaurants, to watch the show, to hire him as a DJ, etc. So we can never, ever, ever say anything negative about tourism.
No,
And
and in fact, one of the things I would say, I've always been the silver lining of this thing is the fact that while everybody was staying at home, all the road construction things all ramped up to take advantage of the fact that the traffic was much lower, and then be able to get. So most of Destin, until you start getting into Miramar Beach, a lot of that construction is done now. So I like to see whether that smooths things out. Of course, you and I know that when we get to the bridge, there's going to be some traffic issues initially, but it's going to be a huge saving, and then that way all the backlog will be over on the Destin side, probably.
Well, you do have viewers in Destin, certainly, but there's no doubt that 98 is we want it to be busy. We absolutely want it to be busy, and I can't emphasize to the three people who are watching this right now, both your moms and Chris Seaman and his buddy that he's looking out for, so maybe four. We have to really respect tourism, and we can never, ever post on social media that we don't like tourists, or we can't be a waiter at a restaurant or something that says, I don't like the tourists. If there's any message that we can convey as to how we will turn the corner quicker than probably 95% of the communities in the world is the fact that the Gulf of Mexico's out there, and for the most part, we're nice people. So we want to tell all the people from Atlanta and Louisiana and St. Louis, et cetera, come on down. You're going to have a great time. Spend your money. Get out of your house. And that is the message.
Well, and I was reading that Destin has the city has also done what Fort Walton Beach has done, as far as for some of these businesses, these hospitality businesses that have been out of business for so long and trying to get the employees back, that they have some grants or some loan grants. Do you know anything about that? And I think the deadline for the Fort Walton may be coming up here.
It actually expired last Friday, as a matter of fact.
It was last Friday.
So what you had is, again, not only do you have good business people like you who are proactive, we have tourism people who are proactive like our Convention and Visitors Bureau, et cetera, who are doing what they can. But we also have our elected officials. The county commissioners and these city officials say, oh my gosh, we understand how important business is to the economy in our community. Let's do what we can to help them. So the county, Okaloosa County, as well as the city of Fort Walton Beach, had a grant program that expired last Friday. So hopefully lots of people signed up for it. Gulf Power, sponsor of today's breakfast, has a grant program for businesses that have 11 to 29
right,
people.
And
that is still going on. That will go on through a week or so.
I'm assuming that you could probably find that information out from the Gulf
Gulfpower.com.
Yeah, or get with Bernard Johnson.
And Bernard Johnson, who was sitting over there just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
But also you want to go to the city of Destin. The city of Destin's done a great job. The council members over there, Lance Johnson, their city manager, they said, hey, we want to help businesses too. And they've taken money from, not from taxes of the individuals, but from a business licensing account. So basically when you open a business, you pay a license. Well, they're taking money from there. They're not taking it from the taxpayer. And you get to apply, and I believe the deadline for that may be today also. But go to the city of Destin website or call them up and say, hey, I didn't hear about this. It's just for businesses in the city of Destin. So everybody
Good to know.
is helping. Yeah. Everybody, elected officials, businesses, everyone that we can think of is saying, we're on our own. Everybody, after a hurricane, we got people from Andalusia coming down here. We got people from Atlanta, et cetera. Everyone's on their own right now because everyone is fighting the same situation. So we've got to buckle up ourselves, be so grateful that we live here. As Zoran mentioned, why we moved here. It's wonderful. And we just got to look at each other and say, this is what we're going to do together. Don't count on anyone else to help us.
This is so true. I can't think of a better note to basically wrap up this show at this point because unless, of course, we want to share what you confided in me about one of your first jobs down here, one of your first businesses that you actually had opened up. Most people know about that?
I don't know. I came down here, worked at the Holiday Inn, which is now the Hampton Inn and a Waterscape over there, but I had a deli. I know what it's like to be an independent business person over there where Kmart was, now Old Time Pottery. And the little Cash's got a little bar at the end. It's got the Pepitos across, and that strip center, which is dying. Right. The movie theater's out of place. But way back when, we had a little deli called Teddy's Deli.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for a year and a half, I worked there as well as the Holiday Inn, so I know what it is like to be an entrepreneur clawing through the business world. And it's hard. And we appreciate everyone that's done it. So if you haven't joined your local Chamber of Commerce, you should. Contact my good friend Shane Moody in Destin, or Tricia in Niceville, or Shannon in Crestview, or Megan in Walton County, or certainly we'd love to hear here in Fort Walton. Think about joining a chamber to see how we can help promote your business.
Now, do chambers join chambers?
They do. We're all together. We're all together. We're all for the job of promoting business in our community, and we know that Destin is different than Fort Walton, different than Niceville, different than Crestview, different than Walton County. So we're all collaborate. I consider ourselves very good friends and good allies to promote the business here in our community.
Okay. Well, and then you mentioned the chambers of all the different locations, and there are a lot of small businesses. There are a lot of people that may end up losing their job, trying to find a way to keep money coming in, and maybe even started their own small business or doing something they've taken advantage of this change out, this time of reflection to maybe decide on something they want to do. Why do you think the chamber would be a good fit for them to at least try out to see what they could do to help market their business? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a chamber, folks, is a Google for your community. It's an opportunity where EmeraldCoastTV.com joins, Zoran Entertainment joins, Gulf Power joins. So it's a one organization in the community that all aspects of the community join: businesses, nonprofits, churches, the military, the elected officials, etc. So it's a one organization where they can help you with anything. We have training seminars, you have promotion on the website, you have networking opportunities, you have direct mail opportunities, you have email, anything. What I say to you as a business person is when you create your wish list of what you wish you could do in your community, the chamber can grant those wishes.
That's an interesting way of putting it. The chamber grants wishes.
Absolutely.
And both of you can agree with that because
most definitely. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know there's a lot of good things happening at your local chamber. Join.
And it's not just like, I'm a member of the Better Business Bureau, and all you're doing is paying for the logo to go ahead and appear on your business website and stuff like that. Right. you get the most out of your chamber when you do some of the activities,
Absolutely.
the
Get
networking,
involved.
nothing but networking things, coming to the first Friday coffee and just get a chance to mingle and hear what's happening in the community.
Business after hours.
Which is fun. And I'll share this for those folks you mentioned earlier, for those folks who did lose their job. Working with CareerSource, you'll find out the week of June 15th, this is brand fresh news, there'll be a job fair at the Emerald Coast Convention Center for those people who are looking for a job, or for those people who have a business who need to find workers. That information will be coming out. So that's another example. Collaborating with CareerSource the week of June 15th, I think maybe the 18th or 19th date will be finalized. There'll be a job fair at the Emerald Coast Convention Center where businesses can look for people, and you, if you're looking for a new job or a job, good opportunity to go to that. So that's another example.
And we had Michelle Burns, who's the executive director, on about 2 weeks ago. Anybody can probably go back and check that out. But she mentioned all the different resources to help you maybe restart a new career somewhere else. But we also mentioned the fact that, well, maybe this is the time that you want to go out on your own and be on your own. Go become a freelancer, be a small business, and and we talked about the Small Business Administration, which is, I think they have their office over there at the bank, Sonova Bank, over on Beale Parkway. They are available to go ahead and help you kind of make that choice to decide whether you've got the what do I want to say? The courage, the resources, the cojones. That's what I wanted to say, but I know. But it's an internet, so I guess I could say that.
Well, both of you are prime examples of people who are your own boss.
Yes, correct.
And certainly you've worked for other people, so I'm assuming you prefer to work by yourself.
Well, and it's hard to think of going back to a 9-to-5 job. And if you get a job where you don't necessarily have to have a storefront, it just opens up so much freedom. And then when you need more help, you bring the help in, but you don't need to keep them going all the time, or having to support them all the time.
Sure.
I know that sounds kind of negative from, well, you should give other people job opportunities as well, but sometimes it's just better to be light and be able to be nimble and be able to change directions just like that without having to worry about who else you're bringing along. And I think it's the best way to kind of get things started. And then when you get the finesse where you want to get larger, then you've got the resources from the chamber, from the Small Business Administration to help you with that.
Dream job, your dream job can become reality. You just have to get involved.
And if you do, you get to wear a hat with sunglasses on it and not have to cut your hair like Zoran does. 'Cause he's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. He's dressing the part.
I'm bringing back the mullet. I just want you guys to know it's coming back. Start growing your hair now.
All right, Tiger King.
Yeah. Right.
All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and close out the show here. I'm going to go ahead and pan back up so you can see where we are at the Greater Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate you tuning in, and have yourself a good day, a good weekend, and if you're looking for bow legs,
it's coming up.
Coming up, not this weekend, everyone, July 31st.
It's this weekend, but it's going to be when?
It's not this weekend, traditionally this weekend. July 31st, August 1st with the parade on Monday, August 3rd.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys.
We love the tourists.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.